What's up, you guys? Today I've got a tying video for you. I know it's been a while since we've done one of those, so I thought I would get back into it and show you another one of those patterns that I use a lot that I haven't tied on here yet. That fly happens to be a hot tag pheasant tail variation that I like to use. I use it a lot in the spring, but you can use it basically year round. I've been using it the past month or so, and it's been producing pretty well for me. So I thought I would tie that one. I like this fly in green or like an olive color or a brown. You can tie it in like a hare's ear or hare's mask variation. A lot of different versions you can do. We're gonna do the brown one today. It's a great mayfly imitation, just general attractor that has a lot of motion with that CDC that I find works well. I do it in a size 14 all the way down to a 20. The 20 I don't use nearly as often. I would say 14 and 16 is kind of my go-to, and it works really, really well. So let's get into tying it and showing you guys how I do that right now. Okay, so today I'm going to tie for you guys a hot tag pheasant tail flashback CDC fly that I really like for year round nymphing. I use it in the spring. I tie it in a few different colors. This is going to be a brown one, but I'll also do like kind of an olive green one. So I have a size 14 jig hook in the vise. This is an Umpqua Purdy jig that I really like. It's a new hook. Start my thread there. Build this up just a little bit. This is 70 denier thread, so it's a little thinner. I'm gonna go right back to about where the point is and grab my glow bright thread, double that over. Then I'm gonna wrap that around the thread, just like that. Grab all those threads like that and wrap back to where the barb of the hook would be and trim that off. So that's like 4 threads essentially, the way you double it over. Now I'm gonna run back to where the bead is. I'm gonna turn that hook upside down in the vise, and I'm gonna take a piece of this peacock flash. It's orange on one side and it's peacock on the other. And we are gonna tie this in on the bottom of the hook. And this can be a little bit fiddly to do, but we want to capture this on the underneath side. Just like this, and I'm going to run back forward, flip this over, grab our amber or copper wire. This is amber, size small. Jam that in behind the bead and capture that. And then we're going to run our thread all the way back to where that tail is right there. So you can see underneath that is the copper side up, or the orange side up, because when we fold it over we want the peacock showing. And that's on the underneath side, if you can see that there. Okay, now we're going to take our pheasant tail and we're going to strip off, oh, I don't know, 4 fibers. We're going to tie that in. So I'm going to flip that around in my hand and cut the tips off. And then I want to tie those in and advance my thread. Now I'm going to take my hackle pliers here, try to capture these pheasant tail pieces, which can be a bit of a problem to work with. It's a little bit easy to break. So I'm going to do our best here to wrap this forward, just like how you would normally do a pheasant tail or a Frenchie. I'm going to stop right about there and capture that with our thread. Go ahead and cut those off. I'm going to flip the fly over, grab that flash, pull it forward, and capture it up by the bead, just like that. So see, you can see the flash is up on the underneath side of the fly. Now we're going to flip back over. We're going to take our wire and we're going to counter wrap that pheasant tail with our wire. Go ahead and capture that a few times. We're not cutting off the flash because we're going to need that again in a minute. Just kind of helicopter this off. A couple more securing wraps there. Now we're going to push this flash back again, wrap over it like that, So now it's back kind of where it was before. Come back forward, or flip the hook back over. Now we're going to take our dubbing here and take just a little bit of that and create a dubbing noodle here. I'm going to add some dubbing right on top of that. Maybe a little bit more than that would be nice. We're going to be kind of just create a little bit of a dubbing ball here. Now we're going to take our tool to create a loop and spin up a little bit of a dubbing loop here with our CDC. So I just captured that, I made a loop. You can see it's doubled over, there's a loop there. I'm going to take my CDC, brown CDC feather, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the tip off of this because it tends to get in the way when you're doing this. So I cut the tip off. I'm just going to use half of a CDC feather, and I'm going to slide this up into that loop like that. Now I'm going to come in here and trim off the rest of that feather, and then I'm just going to spin this up to create that collar. I'm going to do a few wraps of this. Just like this, kind of pull that tight, make sure it's all in there, and then we're going to capture that thread. Just like this, and then trim that loop off. Pull this back. At this point we're almost done with the fly. A couple more wraps in between. And we're going to come back and flip the fly back over and take that piece we didn't cut off and capture it again. So it's almost like a little wing pad, just like that. So the bottom of the fly has, which is kind of the top when it rides in the water, has flash all along it. I'm going to fold this back again, come over the top a couple times, trim that off. Now we're going to flip the fly back over in the vise, make a couple more wraps, and we're going to take just a little bit more of this dubbing for the collar right there, build up a little bit of a head in front of the CDC, then we're going to take our whip finish and just throw a couple in there. You can put some super glue on there if you want. I tend to not do that. A couple more. Now we're going to trim off our thread. Preen this back and make sure that these CDC fibers aren't too long. And that is your finished Flashback hot tag CDC pheasant tail nymph that I really like. And I'll do an olive version, brown version. You could do this with hare's ear and do kind of a tan version if you wanted. Pretty cool fly, works all year. Fish it.